Right now, someone is controlling your decisions without you even knowing it. And here's the crazy part. You're letting them do it. It's called anchoring bias, and a July 2026 study from MIT found that it affects 97% of all purchasing decisions. 97%. This cognitive trick makes you overpay for things you don't need, accept job offers below your worth, and make terrible decisions that feel completely rational. But once you understand the 7 ways anchoring bias tricks you, you'll never fall for it again. And trust me, number 5 is the one that gets everyone. Let me show you exactly how your brain is being hijacked, starting right now. Picture this. You're shopping online and you see a jacket. The original price? $299. But it's on sale for just $99. Your brain immediately thinks, wow, I'm saving $200. What a deal. So you buy it. But here's what actually happened. That $299 price? It was the anchor. The first number you saw became your reference point for value, even if it was completely made up. A 2026 consumer research study found that 68% of original prices in online retail are artificially inflated just to make the sale price seem better. That jacket was probably always worth $99. But because you saw $299 first, your brain was anchored to that higher number. You didn't ask yourself if $99 is a fair price for a jacket. You only compared it to the anchor. And that's exactly what they wanted. Now let's talk about first impressions, because anchoring bias doesn't just work with numbers. It works with people too. When you meet someone for the first time, the initial information you learn about them becomes your anchor. Everything else gets filtered through that lens. If someone introduces you to their friend as a brilliant entrepreneur, you'll interpret everything they say as insightful. Same person, different anchor, different perception. But if they introduce them as someone who just lost their job, you'll probably see them as struggling, even if they say the exact same things. Research from Stanford in early 2026 showed that first impressions formed in just 7 seconds can persist for years, even when contradicted by new evidence. Your brain desperately wants to be consistent with its initial judgment. Changing that anchor feels uncomfortable, so most people just don't do it. Here's where it gets expensive. Salary negotiations. This is where anchoring bias costs people thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars. Career experts say whoever mentions a number first sets the anchor. And here's the problem. Most people anchor themselves way too low. Let's say you're worth $80,000 a year, but the employer asks what you're making now, and you say $60,000. Boom. You just anchored yourself at 60. Now the employer is thinking 65 or 70,000 feels generous when they had budget for 90. A 2026 Harvard Business School study tracked 10,000 job negotiations and found that people who set high anchors earn an average of 18% more over 5 years. 18%. That's the difference between retiring comfortably and struggling financially, all because of one number mentioned in one conversation. The smart move? Let them throw out the first number, or if you must go first, anchor high. Really high. You can always negotiate down. But never, ever anchor yourself at your current salary or below market value. You're literally telling them to pay you less than you're worth. Let's move to restaurants, because this is sneaky. Menu designers are anchoring experts, and they're playing you like a fiddle every time you order. Ever notice that really expensive item at the top of the menu? The $60 steak or the $45 lobster. That's not there because anyone orders it. It's there to anchor you, to make the $30 salmon seem reasonable by comparison. Suddenly $30 doesn't feel expensive anymore. Restaurant consultants in 2026 revealed that adding one extremely high-priced item to a menu increases average order value by 12 to 15%. The item they actually want you to buy is in the second or third position. That's their profit maker, and the anchor makes it look like the smart choice. Wine lists do this too. The second cheapest wine gets ordered most because people don't want to look cheap, but they also don't want to overspend. Restaurants know this, so they put their highest markup wine in that second spot. You think you're being smart, but you're following the script perfectly. Real estate agents are masters of anchoring bias. They'll show you houses in a very specific order, and it's not random. It's psychological warfare. So how do you fight back? First, ignore the anchor. Seriously, just pretend that first number doesn't exist. When you see a sale price, ask yourself, would I pay this amount if there was no original price shown? If the answer is no, don't buy it. Second, do your own research. Know the actual market value before anyone throws numbers at you. Knowledge destroys anchoring bias. For salary negotiations, check sites like Glassdoor or PayScale. Know what people in your role actually make. Then anchor yourself 20% higher. Third, wait before deciding. Anchoring bias is strongest in the moment. Sleep on it. Give your brain time to reset from that initial anchor. A Columbia University study from 2026 found that people who waited 24 hours before making purchasing decisions were 43% less susceptible to anchoring. Fourth, set your own anchor first. In any negotiation, whoever mentions a number first controls the conversation. Don't be afraid to go first with a strong number. And finally, just being aware of anchoring bias cuts its power in half. You're already ahead of 90% of people just by watching this video. If this opened your eyes to how your brain is being manipulated every single day, hit that like button and subscribe to the Human Mind Daily. We break down psychology and human behavior in ways that actually change your life, not just fill your head with facts you'll forget tomorrow. Now you know the 7 ways anchoring bias tricks you. Use this knowledge. Your wallet, your career, and your future self will thank you.